Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to this summer service at First Parish Watertown, which by tradition is led by members of the congregation. It is good to see you all, and we hope that you are well. My name is Tappan-deFrees. This service is put together by my wife Izzy and me. We've been members of this congregation for 20 years. During this virtual service, we ask that you keep your volume muted. After the service, you will have a chance to talk with each other in small breakout rooms. You may use the chat feature at any time during the service if you feel moved to share. I light the chalice this morning in honor and in memory of my mother, Jane Holt-DeFrees. She prided herself on her resourceful Yankee heritage, raising us with the adage, use it up, wear it out, make do, or do without. Now, would you please join me in reciting our congregational affirmation?
Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Good morning. My name is Izzy Tappan-deFrees, and this morning's service is titled When What You Need is What You Have. And it's intended to be an exploration of a spiritual practice of making the most out of resources that are in hand. We hope that this service can take your mind to a quieter place, a more abundant place in the midst of these chaotic times. The gorgeous music that opened our service is by Maurice Raval, titled Joie d'eau, the joy of water, and was played by one of our oldest friends, Bonnie Anderson. Beth and I first met Bonnie at the New England Music Camp when we were all tweeners. Here is a photo of the three of us at summer camp in 1977. The true magic of our friendship with Bonnie is that we reconnected as adults when she played a benefit concert at our very own church in Watertown some 21 years ago. When I needed to pull from my resource basket of musicians for this service, Bonnie was an obvious choice. During the COVID-19 lockdown in April, I was blessed with the gift of time and the availability of online resources to quickly learn some new video and audio editing skills. And it felt like an effortless joy for me to be able to connect Bonnie's music about the joy of waters with photos of water that I have saved on my iPhone camera from travels over the past year. So now we will turn back to Beth, who has a story to share.
Stone soup. A monk is on his way home. He is very hungry. He asks people in the town for food. "I'm sorry," they all say. "We have no food here." The people in town do not know him. They hide their food and do not tell the monk. The monk looks at the people in the town. He has an idea. The monk says to the people, "You are hungry, so I will make stone soup for you." "Stone soup? What's that?" the people ask. The monk says, "Bring me some stones and a pot. Let's make a fire." The monk puts the stones in a pot of water and starts to cook them. Everyone watches. "This is good soup, but stone soup is better with salt and pepper," says the monk. "I don't have any." A young boy gets salt and pepper for the soup. "Now it is very good," says the monk. "But stone soup is always better with some vegetables." An old woman says, "I have some vegetables." She goes and gets them and puts them in the pot. This smells good," says the monk. "But the best stone soup needs some meat and some more vegetables." A young man says, "I have some meat." He goes and gets the meat and puts it in the pot. Other people bring some more vegetables. Soon the people can eat the soup. They love stone soup. Stone soup is the best, says an old man. Now that we know about stone soup, we will never be hungry, says the old man. Thank you. Everyone sings and dances all night. The next day, the monk walks out of the town. The people in town come to say goodbye. The monk laughs. It is very easy to make stone soup, he thinks.
Thank you, Beth. I hope you enjoyed that story. We now ask you to join in singing a well-known folk song called Inch by Inch. We ask that you remain muted while singing. The lyrics will appear for you as we sing. This song is dedicated to the FPW Garden Guild, which is ably led by Sue Sowers. The Guild has done so much with willing and able volunteer workers to ensure the blossoming beauty of the FPW Memorial Garden. There is no question that the Memorial Garden project has been a spiritual labor of love. It is a tribute to the joys of working in community towards a common dream and to making the most of limited resources. Please rise in spirit as you are able and join in singing. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. Pulling weeds and picking stones, man is made of dreams and bones. Feel the need to grow my own, 'cause the time is close at hand. Grain for grain, sun and rain, find my way in nature's chain. Tune my body and my brain to the music from the land. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of Someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rains come tumbling down. Plant your rows straight and long. Temper them with prayer and song. Mother Earth will make you strong if you give her loving care. And old crow watching hungrily from his perch in yonder tree. In my garden I am free as that feathered thief up there. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. These carving knives belong to my father. We both love to carve wood. I didn't know how to keep them sharp until I found this simple sharpener in our kitchen drawer. I found a piece of lilac wood and split it in two. I make my wands from wood found in places that are meaningful to me. Carving wands does not take great effort or thought. It is meditative. The wood will tell you when to turn it if you follow the grain. I try not to shape the wand. I let the wand shape itself. I carve my wands outdoors where my heart is free. The wand is finished being shaped when it feels smooth and organic to the touch.
and a wand must always be tested for magical powers. My wands come to life with the heat from a wood burner. Fire has always been a source of magic to me. I let the shape of the wood dictate the design. I do not plan it. It is meditative to draw with repeated shapes. There is often a spirit living in the wand that longs to be known. Good morning. Are you taking time to breathe? I hope that you all have some magic source in your lives, making all good in chaos. We gathered together this morning in the thick of crazy times. By my count, we've entered our 6th month of socially diminished living. Many of us have lost income, loved ones, time with friends, adventures. Certainly, all of us have been missing peace of mind. These have been times that make us all think twice about our resources, how to get them safely, how to make the most of them, and how to share them. Beth shared a memory this morning during chalice lighting of her Yankee mother's philosophy of frugality. It is certainly one shared by my parents, who lived through the Great Depression and World War II. My mother-in-law's words remind me to be thoughtful in my actions and to make the most of what we have. And likewise, the story of stone soup that Beth read this morning is one that I remember from childhood. It is a story whose lesson teaches that our resources used in community will always be greater than the sum of the resources that we squirrel away like survivalists. I think it also teaches that challenging difficulties can easily be solved in community. And as an aside, we recently made and shared a lovely stone soup with our closest neighbors, made with excess vegetables from our gardens and CSA. But in this era of COVID-19 pandemic, the reality is that we have largely been forced to hide ourselves away from community. And it has been hard on most of us. We've been robbed of humanity's great gift of being together. And I am aware that many of us have suffered much more from this than others. It is not without hesitation then, and a growing sense of paradox, that I have pondered the theme for today's service for several months now. Is what I need really what I have? With more than just a little survivor's guilt in the first 2 months of the Massachusetts shutdown, I was able to make use of the gift of time. I could not go to work as an in-home groomer, pet groomer, so I poured my energies into my music and my magic wand carving. I shared some wands with family and friends, and that lifted spirits. I found that I was able to encourage family and friends to communicate regularly via Zoom or group chat, and that has helped us stay connected. I had time to learn new audio and video editing skills and was able to offer inspiration to musician friends to keep making music and sharing music as best we could. Really, I was just a droplet in a cosmic wave of musicians and artists who have embraced technology as a way to keep sharing the arts. I was able to inspire and help our yoga teacher get started with teaching her classes over Zoom. It has been pure joy to welcome her into our living room twice a week. Beth and I have both embraced the calming energies of yoga over these past months, and we have especially come to love the pose called Shavasana, the corpse pose. The pose where all you're asked to do is lie still on your back, to meditate on your breathing, and to let rivers of relaxation flow through you. Beth and I have also embraced the masked, distanced adventures outdoors, hiking in the woods, swimming at the outdoor pool at the YMCA, camping in our backyard, weeding in the garden, and even masking up for several protest marches. And between those good sources of vitamin D and the hobbies and connections that we've maintained, I do have to say that in these difficult times, I have indeed had what I needed. And yes, let's be honest here. I have not had to witness the suffering of COVID-19 directly. I have not tried to entertain a young child while working. I have not lost a loved one. I have not found myself without sufficient financial resources. I find that I am one of the haves and not the have-nots. But my heart does bleed for the ongoing suffering. And in the midst of this pandemic, I have also found what I need to understand this paradox of inequality. The gift of community shared resources has been no more obvious to me than in the historic energies and teachings that have become visible through the efforts of all those fighting battles because Black lives matter. The anger and frustrations that have erupted are not new, but have been growing in voice and respect. The resources to learn about decades of injustice and inequalities have suddenly been raised up through social media, shared reading lists, phone camera witnessed abuses, grabbing masks and joining marches. Teaching voices have been raised so loud that they have risen above the noise of pandemic distractions. The fact is that I have not suffered in this pandemic because of inequality. And this is now plain for me to see. Really, for the first time in my life, I've been trying to take time to learn the painful, hard to watch background stories that are driving the current streams and screams for racial equality. I know because I've asked that many others at First Parish are also engaged in this work of learning. My eyes are opening to my privileges, and it is without a doubt a privilege to have what is needed. And honestly, this all leads me right back to where I am. I want to help others where I can. I want to keep lifting my burden of ignorance and live with open eyes. I want to keep making music and magic and working to make all good in chaos. I want us all to stay healthy and to help each other in community. I want us all to live through to the other side of all that seems unjust today. I hope that you all have what you need too. But if you don't, please let me know if there is any way that I can help. Please stay safe so that we may all make it through to the good on the other side. As we close this service, I want to share with you one more of my musical resources, and that is my big brother, Dan Tappan. Dan has made a life's work since retirement to help amateur musicians find audiences for their music. He currently runs a weekly open mic over Zoom, if you're interested. But Dan has also worked hard on his own musical craft as a singer-songwriter. And I've chosen to end our service with his song, Potatoes in April, because it speaks to me on a spiritual level about the need to find contentment on the paths that we currently walk. After this song, you will see a slide that tells you how you can support the ongoing work of this church financially, and we appreciate all generosity that you can offer. If you would like to join one of our small groups after this service to have some time to talk socially, please stay connected to the Zoom session for a few minutes after Dan's tune. Grab some coffee, and you will receive an invitation to join a breakout room where you can talk with others. I want to thank Beth and Bonnie Anderson, Brother Dan Tappan, Allison, the Garden Guild, for helping with this service. And as always, I want to thank you for joining. Stay well.
Some say there's a season, a time for every purpose. Some say there's a reason for all the things that hurt us. I don't know the master plan, just focus on the small. I plant potatoes in April, garlic in the fall. Grown-up life's a busy mix, startle, stress, and hurry. Sometimes I can't help myself, give in to the worry. Other days I take it slow and listen when the birds call. I plant potatoes in April, garlic in the fall. 'Cause there's a time for doing taxes, a time for washing dishes, time for smelling roses, time for catching fishes, a time to read, a time to write, a time to search for answers, time to leave your seat and join the dancers. Some hope politicians will be the ones to save us. Others say the answer is to bow our heads to Jesus. Don't got much faith in praying, less in building walls. I plant potatoes in April, garlic in the fall. 'Cause there's a time for doing taxes, a time for washing dishes, time for smelling roses, a time for catching fishes, time to read, a time to write, a time to search for answers, a time to leave your seat and join the dancers. There's a meditation in working for the future, tender shoots, seeds, and hope, all the things we can nurture. Each act of compassion shows we're in it for the long haul. Potatoes in April, garlic in the fall. I plant potatoes in April, garlic in the fall.